there's a lot of behavioral science in the book, and we got very excited about that. I mean, my background is more design thinking, service design, but behavior is very close, sitting very close to that. And we had a really great chat with Richard Chataway on one of our first episodes we had. Tell us a little bit about what behavioral science teaches us, and maybe how much of a behavioral scientist you need to be in order to apply some of the propositions you have in the book for us.
So I think if you come to LSC, one of the first things you learn in a behavioral science class is that we have two different thinking styles, and this comes, directly from Danny Kahneman's work, where he says it's not right that we weigh up the cost, benefits, and risk of every decision like economists say that we do, but rather there's sometimes when we're thinking fast, it's really impulsive, we're on autopilot, we're operating with our unconscious mind, and then there's these other periods of time when we're slow and we're acting deliberately. So a lot of the biases that people might have heard about with cute names kind of sit in that first kind of part of thinking where where I'm working very fast and I'm on autopilot. I think the interesting thing is that if you look at the kind of estimates of how we spend our time switching between these thinking modes, it's 80 to 90% in that kind of fast, autopilot mode. And if you imagine that you're going through your day, you're going through your work day, whatever that might be, and you're making decisions that ultimately affect your future, because how we spend our time, which is our most precious resource, is ultimately what determines our future. Think Big is really about getting you to notice when those decisions matter. So you switch to system 2. So you switch to kind of slowing down and thinking deliberately. And how I do that in Think Big is really to kind of anchor this idea of you need to identify small steps, because we know as behavioral scientists that these small steps taken regularly that develop into habits have disproportionate effect on large outcomes. And it's really about bringing that into career focus. And I think specific to Think Big, you don't need to have any behavioral science background in order to read it. So, I really introduce the biases in ways where even if you never read another behavioral science book again, it should be very easy for you to digest. And if it isn't, you absolutely should write a complaint letter, because I worked very hard to get it to that level, I can tell you.